No doubt about that. Afghanistan, it depends which Afghanistan turn up. They are relatively new to international cricket. They're going to be inconsistent, but they do have some real match winners. The guys we've spoken about, well led by Mohammad Nabi. That they could be a bit of a banana skin for New Zealand. But look, I fully expect New Zealand to beat both Namibia and Afghanistan. But they shouldn't take them lightly, because you never know what happens in tournament play.
Well, tournament play and also T20 cricket, again, as you've experienced as a coach now so many times around the world, that there's almost one ball that can turn a game in T20 cricket, but six balls, whether they're dot balls, whether they're wickets, whether they're wides, whether they're no balls, they all make a significant difference to the end. So, yes, while we can sort of sit here and pontificate a little bit about who might win, it's still going to be on the day. So listen, Jace and Des, look, great pleasure to have you on, and great pleasure to see you, and be fantastic to watch the progress of the Redbacks and the Strikers and every other team that you might be coaching in the future, because, again, very solid citizen, an outstanding bowler, but a wonderful coach, which obviously all the teams are really beginning to find out as your coaching career really develops. So great pleasure to have you on board, mate.
Oh, thanks, Buck. Well, I learned from the best, mate. So, look, it's been great. Obviously, new role here with South Australia with the Redbacks. It's exciting times for us. We've got some progress to be made, but I think we are making some progress. And obviously, I've been with the Adelaide Strikers for a while now, coming up with 7th BBL with the franchise. So, excited there. We've got a couple of new faces. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Right, mate. Thanks once again. Talk soon.
No worries. See you, Buck.
And so that was some interesting insights from Jason Dizzy Gillespie. But now we move to a really fascinating area of sport and the analysis of sport. And we're moving from the quantitative data, the numbers game, if you like, and we now begin to look at what can complement quantitative data, and that is qualitative analysis. And here with me is Tony Charge, who's the CEO of GameChanger. And Tony, for all of those people out there that are really interested in sport and the game of cricket, can you give us a brief insight into your particular analysis and the difference between it and the quantitative part of the game, and how it can complement and help coaches, players better understand how to go about winning?
Yeah, thanks, John. And the difference is, as you alluded, we don't count runs or overs. It's more about the quality of play, batting, bowling, fielding, and assessing and evaluating the play as it happens against models, so that it's possible to identify when a batsman becomes vulnerable to getting out, and also what may be impeding or enabling the two batsmen producing momentum. So an example of this, and we provide actionable insights to coaches during the game to exploit or to correct. But one of the key areas is the vulnerability of a batsman to getting out within 2 to 3 balls. This can be influenced by factors on each ball delivered. And so a fresh assessment is made between balls on the level of vulnerability. And in last night's game, we discovered that despite Australia winning, for about 2/3 of the time, Australian batsmen had a degree of vulnerability of getting out. Now, that was contributed to by the Australian batsmen not maintaining a consistent level of intensity. It might seem strange given the result of the game and how it was played out, but intensity has many factors, including the impact and outcome of each shot played, how that translates into a partnership or momentum. And then during every game of sport, including cricket, of course, batsmen, players swing from flat out attacking, which we call loss averse, to defending, blocking, or changing their mind halfway through an attacking shot and playing a defensive shot. So that pendulum or the oscillation factors combine to produce intensity. So last night, yes, about 2/3 of the Australian innings involved the batsman having a degree of vulnerability. So had it been England, say, or South Africa against Australia, they could have exploited that. So it means the Australian team is fragile and will dominate a lesser team, but will struggle against a higher team.
Yes, I mean, it's a really interesting concept, this notion of vulnerability. And I suppose if we considered the Bangladesh innings and we looked at those individual players, there would have been, again, a high level of vulnerability, not because they got out. That's really the outcome of, as you said, the vulnerability from each ball and how that translates itself then into an outcome. And certainly I think, the mindset that we talk about and that you talk about within GameChanger is very much a part of that intent and that aggressive or attacking mindset versus a defensive mindset. And can that then at the time be exploited by your opposition, in this case, Australian bowlers, which it seemed to be last night.
Yeah, the quantitative can never look at the holistic picture of the game. So it's quantitative and qualitative. And with Bangladesh, you're right, John, overs 6 and 7 produced some very classic examples. In over 6, after the second ball, there was a very high degree of vulnerability. The batsman was out next ball. In the 7th over, the batsman came in highly vulnerable in the circumstances and was out first ball. And then if you look at the 8th and 9th overs in particular, you'll see the batsman oscillating between that loss averse and risk averse. Quite extreme. That produces a fragility and their vulnerability.
Yeah, and this is where the two sets of data can really intersect, because one of our quantitative analysts who's on this program from All That Cricket, he explores the outcomes of batsmen facing spin bowling and who are out under 3 balls. And what he's finding is that graph, if you like, or that trend is certainly increasing across the board. But certainly when he looked at Australian teams, that was something that was gradually increasing. So that speaks, I think, directly to what you're seeing and that vulnerability concept.
Yeah, the quantitative will show what happened, when and where. The qualitative will show why and how things happened and in real time. So it actually measures the form of the game.
Yes. No, look, I think, Tony, it's... And you've been doing this now for some time, and you've been doing this all around the world with a whole range of different sports. And you can quickly list off the sports, but the ones that I'm certainly aware of, the bigger sports, soccer, rugby league, AFL and rugby union, and particularly one of your big supporters is Eddie Jones, who's coach of the England rugby union team, and who use your methods extensively.
Yes, we've been with Eddie for almost 15 years through a decade of research and development, and then into the full program under the guidance of the late Professor Keith Lyons, who was head of high performance at the AUS, and in his latter years joined us and really accelerated our development and understanding of the qualitative side.
Yep. So look, there's a very, very quick snapshot today of GameChanger. Again, I think it's a world that's still open to a heck of a lot of exploration. There's no doubt about that. A lot of opportunity when teams, coaches, individuals say that they're looking for the 1%ers. Well, something like a qualitative analysis, a very well-informed qualitative analysis, a well-designed and scientifically proven qualitative analysis system is available. It can give you more than a 1% advantage. It can certainly place you in a really, really strong position to be able to take advantage of the information at hand. But it's not something that comes overnight. You have to work with it, have to understand it, and have to know then how to actually apply it. But as Tony has been saying, it's been done in many sports around the world. So, Tony, really great to have you on board today and having a very, very quick look at Bangladesh and Australia last night. It will be interesting to follow some of these other games now that people got an idea of this concept of vulnerability, and then within all that, there's this concept of change momentum too. So I'll last couple of words from you to finish off and wrap it up before we head off to our studio.
All right, thanks, John. Every game of cricket is good. And of course, from our point of view, it's about getting wickets and scoring runs. So our focus is on how to protect against losing wickets and to score more runs. So by understanding that and working with coaches as performance advisors to say, well, this is why this is happening, this is how, and therefore we can exploit or we can protect as the circumstances require.
Yes, fantastic. Fantastic insights, Tony. And again, thank you very much for joining us today, and look forward to more discussions into the future. Thanks again.
Thank you very much.